the Webb Eco range, this has been amazing as well. I've taken a lot of these tools to work, and again, I'm emphasising that, yeah, I'm not sort of saying to you, these are professionals to use all day, every day, but I mean, I've just found these so convenient. This little hedge trim I absolutely love. I've used that at work for doing topiary, box balls, yew cones, all those kind of little fiddly shrubs where sort of a great big sort of chunky petrol hedge trimmer is just sort of too much and too chunky. Something like this, you've got the power, but also you've got the versatility and the ease of use with that. One thing to emphasize about this as well, this is a fantastic price point on here, because we're bringing you these machines with the battery as well. And on the Webb Eco range, it's a 20-volt battery. I mean, a lot of companies like Roby, for instance, starting out with 18-volt batteries. These are 20-volt batteries straight away as well. And just a couple of things to mention as well. The lawnmower is a 40-volt, so that has two batteries in there as well. And those batteries have a 2-year warranty, but the actual machines have a 3-year warranty in total. So yeah, I'm going to jump on to, in fact, what I'm going to do this one first. I'm going to just walk you up behind, because there is a tree just behind that's looking a bit sad and a little bit, well, it's dead actually, dead as a dodo. So yeah, we've got a battery in there already. So I think it's a little dead cherry tree up over here. And I've got this on the extension pole, which is really, really good. And again, that's sort of very simple to do, because you just sort of unlock it here. And also it's sort of, because if you're a bloke, you never read instructions on anything, you just want to pick it up and use it. But even on this, for instance, to tell you where to join the two together, there's an arrow there and an arrow there. So rather than faffing about trying 15 positions before you actually click it into where it's supposed to be, just put the two arrows facing each other, click in place, tighten up the collar, and then you're ready to go. And all of a sudden, you've got that, you know, that extra reach as well to be able to get up and take sort of things down like this. And of course, now we're into the, dare I say, autumn. I hate that word with a passion. But you know, it has to happen. Sort of now we're into autumn, and we're soon going to start getting some gales and some quite strong winds and that kind of thing. And a lot of customers, or my customers, will start to have sort of, you know, trees, bits of branches and things come down. So you've got the simplicity and the power to be able to just reach up. Steady, Ed. There you go. So I mean, that's pretty cool. I'll do one more. And that's the thing, once you start using these tools, they do get a bit addictive. And I had to kind of hold myself back yesterday, because I thought if I keep going, I'll have no samples or anything to demo on. What I'm going to walk back over, because I'm going to take this off now. I'm going to swap over and I'm going to put the little, oh, there we go. Cheers, Ray. Take this off again. And then, as I say, just line up the two arrows. I'll get there eventually. There we go. It's a nice secure collar, that one, that's for sure. I'll give you that one. Yeah. Lovely, cheers. Yeah, and then again, sort of, you've got the arrow there, you've got the arrow there. So, you know, if you don't read instructions, like blokes, you do all this, don't you? Like, what is it going? What does it go on? You don't get it on the right way. So just, yeah, just sort of line up the two arrows, push into place, retighten the collar. And the good thing about this one as well, it's got this really, really fantastic adjustable head. So what I do at work sometimes, for hedges that aren't particularly wide, I tend to angle it generally about there, and then I can reach up from ground level and I can go right along the sort of tops of hedges. And again, don't need to worry about ladders or steps, and do it really, really easily. But I'm going to just actually raise it up a little bit further, because I've got my sights just on this conifer over here, and I'm just going to sort of trim some bits. You know, this might be coming down a little bit too far. So again, you've got that lovely reach just to be able to go up. And one thing that does come to mind with that, I've got some customers with willow trees, and they're forever sending down those huge, great big shoots all the time, get down to the ground in no time at all. So with something like this, again, you can just reach up, you can sort of cut the bottom of that willow tree, get that nice sort of clearance, and all with sort of battery power as well. And sometimes when I talk about battery power, I've been on shopping telly and stuff, I actually forget to even talk about the benefits of battery, because I'm so used to using it a lot of the times. I mean, the fact, yeah, you're not tethered by a cable, you've got complete freedom, you can take the tool wherever you want it to be, so you have got that complete and sort of utter freedom. And then this little beauty, this one here, I'm going to show you on the log actually, on because yeah, I will try that as well, yeah. this sort of yesterday, they kind of said to me, do you want to sort of try this on this? And I was like thinking, don't think I was going to do it. But that I think is absolutely flipping fantastic, because again I can think of so many times at work where I could use something like this rather than sort of using a pruning saw or a bow saw and giving myself tennis elbow, where I've kind of been doing that day in day out. I mean, look how neat that is as well. I mean, if you imagine, for instance, obviously this is a dead bit of wood, but if you imagine you were pruning a live tree, what you really want, the most important thing is for that really super clean cut around the edge, because you've got something called the cambium layer around the edge, and if that's all snagged and damaged, that won't scar over, that won't heal, so your infection and stuff can get into the tree. So when you've got that lovely neat surgical cut, that's going to heal over really well, the tree won't get damaged. But of course when you've got dead wood as well like this, so easy to cut that up. You could use that for firewood, you could use it for your chimney, you could use it for whatever you want to. And you can actually put this as an extension feature as well. So this, I'll take this off, clips onto the top of here, slide that on. There's a little catch here that goes up, that fixes that in place. Pop the battery in the bottom, and remember all these batteries are interchangeable, so you can go from one to the other just simply by sliding in the battery from one to the one to the other. Let's do that. There we go. So that's clipped in place, and then you can extend this. So undo the collar on the side, and you can take that up to kind of wherever you want it to be. Clip that back in place, and again you've got that high reach. So a bit like I did earlier on over there, you've got those two different options, and all with that complete freedom, all with that sort of 20-volt battery as well, all with that power. You've got that super sharp blade on there. I just think, this is probably sort of one of my favorites. And another one, which again, just to show you the sort of interchangeability of this, that pulls out of there. And then we've got this lovely little hedge trimmer, which I use at work, as I say, to do topiary, box, yew, all that kind of stuff. And I'm going to just, I'll probably do the edge of this rose actually. This could do a little bit of a tidy up. All sort of scraggly bits. And so when I'm talking to you about all these tools as well, I'm trying to sort of talk to you sort of from the perspective of how I see my customers using things as well, because that's another great thing about Webb. Sometimes with certain more, as I say, commercial type of tools, people in their own ordinary domestic garden, they can be intimidated by tools like that. They find them too frightening, too noisy, too chunky. Great thing about the Webb tools is they're lightweight, they're easy to use, they're easy to start, they're not frightening. Anybody of any age is going to be happy to pick up something like this and just start trimming away. And you can see that's gone through some quite thick pieces there, some dead bits there as well. It's gone through that. I mean, ideally, I'd have liked to have shown you using this on something really nice, like a pristine, in fact, we've got a hedge up there we can use this on a little later. But, if you can imagine that was a really nice conifer or a nice hedge you wanted to sort of shape round, you can just do it with this. I mean, this, you hold this up with your little finger. I mean, it's so lightweight, so easy to use, but you've got the power for that as well. So, oh yes, this. This has the 4 amp hour battery on it, this one. This is super powerful. I mean, there's some leaves over here. I think for a handheld cordless blower, that is one of the most sort of powerful little ones I've used, and so good for things like if you go around the garden and you're line trimming or you're mowing and you've got sort of grass or stuff that's gone up over the patio, you don't need to get the broom out or anything like that. I mean, that's what we use these for all the time at work. If we're doing sort of light trimming, running up the side of a Lalandii hedge or just sort of basic trimming, it goes over the paving in places like that. We'd go around with something like this, we'd blow it all back off the path, off the patio, onto the lawn, and then we'd get our mower and then we'd suck it up with the mower. So, you know, these two actually work in tandem really, really nicely. Just check, we've got the two batteries in there as well, under their nice little waterproof hood. So they're sitting nice and safe underneath there, sort of ready to go. One lever height adjustment on this as well, which I believe is 25 to 75 millimeters. And just so, I mean, that is such a nice smooth action. Sometimes with some of them, it can be a bit jaggedy with some mowers I've used. It can be a bit difficult, but that, you know, even if you're not super strong or got, you know, brilliant dexterity, you can very easily change the height. And yeah, I don't need to teach you how to suck eggs, but obviously in the spring, when you first go out, you'd have that on a really high cut. If the grass was really, really tall, summertime when the grass dries out a bit, you can drop down. And then again, brilliant for sucking up the leaves in the autumn, so you can go on that higher cut as well. And I've found over the years at work, if you do sort of leave it on a higher cut when you suck up the leaves, you get more of that air sort of go underneath and really lift those leaves up and throw them into the back of the grass box. But these are really, really popular with a lot of my younger customers because they've sort of embraced the, you know, cordless technology, the battery technology, and they really enjoy using tools like this. So what height is that? I think actually I might live dangerously, and if it's too low, who cares? We'll change it. It only takes a split second. So there we go. I have to be honest, my stripes are normally straighter than that. But yeah, I was going to try and do a bit of modern art or like spell a word, but I thought I might try and spell web or something. But you know, this grass, this is quite tough old grass here because you know, it's dried out. It's got a lot of thatch in it. It hasn't sort of been cut regularly. And, you know, and I've probably gone a little bit lower than I should, but you can see, you know, that really chewed through this. And, you know, this will cut up to an hour. I'm not saying on grass like this, it might cut up to an hour, but obviously once you've got your lawn pristine, once you've got it cut, once you've got it looking sharp, you could get that much, you know, use out of this. You've got the handle as well. So not even a super heavy machine as well, very easy to lift. I don't have the strongest back in the world after gardening since I was you know, 5 years of age, but yeah, I can lift that very, very easily. I don't struggle with that. You've got the easy release handles on the side there as well, so you can fold those over. These undo very simply. Little indicator on there, as I said earlier. So sometimes if you haven't got that, you keep in the mower, you know, if it is spitting out a bit, you're not sure that's if it's because the grass is too tall or because the grass box is already full up. With this, you know what the situation is. 50 litre as well, which is good. And look at that. Even though this is battery powered, all the grass has gone right to the back of the grass box. There's no sort of grass building up at the front. This, I think, is just absolutely brilliant. I mean, the power of this, the quality of this, it even looks sexy. I mean, it's just a really sort of nice looking lawnmower. It's a lawnmower that I would be happy to use at work. I wouldn't feel awkward or embarrassed using this. I'd feel quite proud using this. I just love the look of it. It looks modern. Yes, it's got power. You can see the lift there. Just an absolute great machine. With this, you can cut and collect, as I've showed you there, obviously. You can, if you want to, just leave the flat down, simple as that, which I call meadow cutting. So if you've got a rough area, you don't care about collecting the grass and you don't mind if it sort of spreads out in ridges behind, you can do it like that. But also, we've got this amorphous looking piece of plastic that does have a purpose, and that's your mulching plug that simply plugs into the back. And again, same principle as earlier on, it just stops the grass from being expelled super quickly. Grass gets chopped up really, really fine. And by the time it is expelled back onto the lawn, it's so finely chopped that once the sun comes out, once the wind blows, it just frazzles up and disappears. So it's a quick way of getting it all looking good, but without leaving tons of clippings and debris all over the place. And one thing I'm going to do, it's a bit rogue this, but I did try it earlier on. I'm going to just try this little beast as well, because I'm going to show you this, because this tiller, I think is, again, really, really good. I've just bought a tiny extra bit of land behind where I live that's just bare earth. And the weeds, the fat hen and stuff already starting to germinate and come through. Something like this is just going to be brilliant for breaking that up. But I just found a little bit of soil over here. And this is probably not the perfect place to use this. But when I do shopping telly sometimes, I do go a bit rogue and sort of try demos where I shouldn't. But I mean, this is under a tree. There's lots of roots here. This is really sort of horrible, hard bit of ground. But, you know, this actually choose through that. You think that is battery powered. Now imagine if that was, you know, proper cultivated ground, which is what you'd use this on ideally. You wouldn't go, you know, digging up your lawn, because that would just be ludicrous and stupid. But, you know, you can see there, that's even managed with that 20 volts of power to even dig through there. And I did this a little bit earlier on as well as a little test. But look at that. I mean, that amazing. I mean, that's fantastic. Look at that. That ground is as dry as bones. It's rock hard. Anyway, that's enough of that. I'm getting carried away now. But you can see, I mean, you've got the stuff on the prongs, but that, on the tines, but that just easily pulls away. So, you know, we're just really, really immensely proud of this Webb Eco range. It's just, I'm going to say I use it at work. I'm not promoting it as a professional tool to be used by professionals all the time, but for, you know, the domestic situation, for reaching up high, for line trimming, for, you know, for cutting, for pruning, for mowing, you've got that 20 volts of power. At the moment, the machines come with batteries, but next year we're going to be doing tool only as well. So if you've already got sort of batteries, you can build up your sort of range of tools, and obviously that's a cheaper option to buy the tool on its own without the battery incorporated. And I think, yeah, Ray, you've got the little line trimmer there, so I think we'll just do that one. That's probably the final one. Swap over there. Again, sort of the battery, and I like that when you get that nice click, you already sort of know that's sort of nicely in place. Got the little handle here as well, which you can adjust, but that's actually suiting me. Oh, this as well. This is your little flower guard. So, for instance, it's also a finger guard. So, for instance, if this is your flower border here, you know, well, you know what it is. Basically, you know, if you don't go, this is where the line comes out to. So, if you want to keep your flowers, you just keep it to there. If you don't want your flowers, go forward a bit more. But it's just a good indicator, so you'd end up taking the flowers out when you're sort of line trimming on the edge of your lawn. See that? I mean, that is pretty impressive for a battery powered machine. And of course, this is fantastic as well, because when we're at work, one thing we always like to do is line trim first of all, because if you cut somebody's lawn but you don't line trim, it just doesn't look professional, it doesn't look finished. You do the line trimming around the edge first, and then any debris we blow back and then go over with the mower, and you get that really perfect kind of look, which everybody wants.